Hello, good people of the interwebs. This is the Bad Mini Painter, and today we're going to be painting some Mechanicum for the Horus Heresy because they released the new army. Oh well, the new battle group. I guess we still have a ton of models to come up. So I purchased the battle group, and I had this idea that I would do everything in one sitting, more or less. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I spent probably an entire weekend just putting these models together because they're fiddly. I don't know what it is with the Horus Heresy models, but for me they're incredibly fiddly. Anywho, a base color of whole red for the armor plating, the red armor plating. And then I do a dry smear of Mephiston red on top of that, not being overly careful. It is not a dry brushing, it's a dry smearing, because I want the red to be a bit more vibrant than my base color, of course. And after that I go in with Demon Red from Two Thin Coats, and this is actually a proper dry brushing with a dry brush. The other brush is also a dry brush, but it's a bit of a smearing. And I go kind of heavy, but not overly. I want to emphasize some details with this step, and I want to make the armor look worn and scratched. After that, I decide to go with Iron Hand Steel, and that is for all the metal parts on the model. Same color, yes. So there's a lot, and a lot of it is kind of hard to reach. So yeah, it wasn't particularly fun because I don't want to hit the armor that I just dry brushed so nicely. But I kind of had to work around weird bits and getting into crannies and nooks. Next I use Corvus Black, and I do that for all the tubes and the wires on the model, because it has this nice latexy kind of look to it. So I prefer that one. And there are some big tubes and some minor tubes. And looking at it here, you can see the different spots that I actually missed with my base coloring. That doesn't matter because look from atop and you can't see it. It's okay. For the helmet, visor, cockpit thing, I use Retributor armor, gold, because I felt like that looked nicely, and it's thinned down quite a bit. It's a fairly thick paint, so thin it. Next I go in with bright bronze to add some variation to all the metal. So I have some selected areas that I decided that should be bright bronze instead. And I guess you can kind of pick and choose how you want to do it. There is of course the decoration around on the armor, which kind of makes sense to give a layer of this. Trying to be super careful not to hit anything that is already painted, because you can always go back and correct stuff, but it's hard when you've done all that dry brushing as well. You can't really, it will always be noticeable that someone corrected something right here, because it's hard to recreate that without doing it over. But yeah, bright bronze for selected metal parts like vents and stuff on the back. The rim around the cockpit. I decided to use oiled earth from Vallejo for shading the entire model. So I just slapped this all over, and plenty of it. Vallejo's shades are really cool because they're not overly pigmented, unlike the shades from Citadel. So you can slap it on fairly thick and it will grime and dirty everything up, but it won't dull down the colors as much as Citadel, and it's really runny, so it's good in the way of getting into all the recesses and emphasizing details, which is really what you want from a wash. So I'm not afraid of slapping a thick layer on, because I know I can distribute it nicely. Anywho, so for the gun casing and for a big part of the gun on his back, and it's a multi-melter? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anywho, Abaddon Black. It's good and trusted, and I'm slowly phasing out Citadel paints, so I'm actually trying to use the paints I already have before they dry up and gunk up. I'm considering doing a video on why I hate Citadel paint so much. Now, there's this little emblem on his crutch, which is kind of yin and yang with black and white. So, Abaddon Black and then Corax White was my solution to that. And again, this is not my specialty, because this is actually controlled painting, and I don't do that, I do slab painting. But the end result was kind of okay when you view it from afar. Finally, I felt like a lot of the black parts were kind of dull to look at, so I decided to do some highlighting, and I used Storm Vermin Fur from Citadel to highlight the tubes and the black armor plating. And that was basically it. Oh yeah, I also highlighted the gun, of course. And that was basically it. So the finished result is like this. If you have questions about the texture paint, that is actually also from AK Interactive, which is my new favorite hobby paint supplier. I love it. Their products are so good. But it's a Mars red texture, I think. Anywho, it's really vibrant, and I really liked it. Like it looks good. And it makes my models look less shitty. But anywho, this is the finished result. It was a fast paint job. I think I spent maybe 2 hours on the models, like pure painting time, 2 hours. So that's pretty fast. And I think the result is decent. It's definitely tabletop ready. Anywho, if you enjoy videos like this and like to hear me ramble about stuff, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I have more of Mechanicum painting videos coming up. Yes. Enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. Bye.